I said, whoa, what's good with y'all boys, man? I'm back with another Kidd Reaction, baby. What's good, Fabi? How y'all feeling out there today, man? It's the AM, man. Kids had to get dropped off at school, you feel me? And all that, man. You see me, I got my orange juice on the AM. But look, man, this was a requested video, you feel me? Michael Jordan underrated years as a Wizard. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When Michael Jordan was in the league playing for the Wizards, I only was really trying to watch one person. And that was Allen Iverson. I was an Allen Iverson fanatic, bro. I just love your game. I'm sorry, I just love your game. And that was that. You feel me? So I think they say Jordan was like 38 or 40 playing. I don't know the exact age, but correct me if I'm wrong. But if y'all new to the channel, man, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, man. Let's learn a little bit more about Jordan and the Wizards years, though, man. Let's learn a little bit more. Let's get straight into it.
The words Michael Jordan and underrated may seem like ludicrous to have in the same sentence. After all, he is one of the biggest icons in sports history and is recognized by most as the NBA's greatest player of all time. But when it comes to MJ's days with the Wizards, there is no question in my mind that those years are vastly underrated, and I believe by the end of this video, you'll be convinced of it too. When we take a look at Michael Jordan's career as a Chicago Bull, you'll see a resume of winning, excellence, and dominance. He was clearly the best player in the league just about every year he played, and he was the best player on both sides of the ball, just about every time he set foot on the court. This is the ridiculously high standards that Michael had set for himself and that we as the fans had become accustomed to seeing.
My man was going off.
The Michael Jordan we knew in Chicago was always winning either MVPs, championships, or scoring titles. And this is exactly why so many people either underrate or have forgotten completely just how remarkable Jordan's stint was as a Washington Wizard. So what exactly are all the different reasons why people choose to overlook these seasons? Well, for one, as I just mentioned, the bar was set absurdly high by his Chicago Day standards.
Which is understandable.
Number two, some believed his return tarnished the perfect ending of his career in Chicago. And number three, the bitter ending of Jordan's relationship with the Washington Wizards organization.
Did it do that though, bro? Like him coming back, nothing can mess up Jordan's career. But I mean, Jordan probably wanted to come back just to have fun with it, you feel me? And I heard he still was killing during his Wizards year, but I'm just saying he probably just wanted to come back. But people always gonna look at things a little bit different to where so Jordan was always up here, and if he not up there when he come back, then you feel me, it's not on the same. But not trying to say that Jordan, but people get old, man. People be just trying to, you feel me, fill out everything, man. Y'all let me know in the comments that it didn't mess up his career though.
After Jordan retired as a player from the Wizards, Jordan assumed that he would be able to return to his front office position as director of basketball operations with the Wizards. Unfortunately, that was not the case.
Right.
Soon after Jordan's retirement as a Wizards player, Washington's Wizards owner Abe Pollin fired Jordan as the team's president of basketball operations.
Dang.
Jordan's previous tenure with the Wizards front office had produced mixed results. Many of Jordan's decisions as an executive did not pan out, including his decision to draft Kwame Brown straight out of high school, who ended up being a bust and was traded just 4 seasons after Jordan had drafted him. Jordan later stated that he felt betrayed, and that if he had known that he would be fired upon retiring as a player, he would have never come back to play for the Wizards in the first place. Regardless, Jordan had returned to play 2 years for the Wizards, and despite the fact that those 2 seasons failed to live up to his glory days in Chicago, and despite the fact that those 2 seasons ended in a bitter firing, those seasons were still utterly remarkable, and in my opinion, they are 2 of the most underrated seasons in NBA history. So at this point, sit back and enjoy as I break down the astonishing details about Jordan's underrated years with the Wizards.
Grab y'all popcorn.
When Jordan had retired from the Bulls at the end of the 1998 NBA season, Jordan claimed he was 99.9% sure he would never play in the NBA again. As we all know, that 0.1% chance prevailed, and Jordan returned to the game he loved. Jordan's passion for the game was seen immediately upon his return, as he announced that all of his earnings from these upcoming seasons with Washington he would be donating to disaster relief funds for the 9/11 attacks in New York. After being completely apart from competitive basketball for 3 full seasons, Jordan was returning as a 38-year-old who was trying to get back into basketball shape. The comeback had plenty of physical obstacles as well. Jordan was heading in.
Jordan being out that long, my bad, y'all. I just keep checking my mic. But Jordan being out that long, bro, I wonder how it feel for him just to step on that floor again. You feel me? You know, that probably was an amazing feeling. Like, damn, I'm really back, y'all. Feel me, the best player in the world. Come on, man.
To his return, dealing with tendonitis in his wrist and in both of his knees. During a pickup game that offseason, Ron Artest had broke 2 of Jordan's ribs while playing physical defense on MJ. Jordan would also go on to fluid drain from his knees multiple times throughout that year. Michael Jordan was joining a Wizards team who had finished the previous season with the 3rd worst record in the entire NBA at 19-63, despite the fact that they were playing in a much weaker Eastern Conference. They also had the 2nd worst defense in the league in terms of opponents' points per game.
Who the hell? Got my man Rip Hamilton, my man Howard, all the rest of these niggas. I do not know none of these niggas.
They weren't just a lottery team. The Wizards were coming off of their worst season in franchise history. The deck was stacked against him,
Brandon Haywood.
and Jordan and
Brandon
the
Haywood
Wizards'
was
01-02 season got off to a slow start at 2-9, but they began to figure things out and went on a 9-game winning streak to improve their record to 14-12. Just 2 games later, Jordan had his worst performance of his return, shooting 2 for 10 from the field, finishing with only 6 points, and losing by 27 points to the Indiana Pacers. Jordan was ice cold that entire game, and due to that, Michael's coach Doug Collins played Jordan in a reduced role, finishing the performance with only 25 minutes played. Jordan's 6-point game meant that his all-time great streak of 866 games with at least 10 points had come to an end. This poor performance and reduced minutes led Jordan to question his coach's faith in his abilities.
You know, that bus is lonely as a coach when you're sitting there after you've got your head handed to you. So I was sitting on the bus, and actually Michael had hired me. He was the part owner and president GM, hired me to be the coach, and then he came back to play. I'll never forget this moment ever as a coach. This to me was greatness. He got on the bus and he said, "Scoot over." And he looked at me and he said, "Do you think I can still play?"
Right.
And I said, "Absolutely. That's why I'm here, to be here to help you." He said, "You know, to be my coach, you have to believe in me and believe I can still play."
Right.
And I said, "Michael, I believe in you." We play the New Jersey Nets the next night. And Michael scores the first 3 times he has the ball. Byron Scott takes a timeout. And Michael comes over and he says, "I want the ball right there the rest of the game, and don't take me out till I tell you." I said, that's fine by me. So with 2 minutes to go into
Michael Jordan, I mean, we already know you the big boss, you call the shots. We already know, but my man Mike was out there calling shots like that.
the game, he gives me the sign like, "That's enough." I take him out of the game. He walks over to the bench. I said, "Michael, what happened tonight?" He said, "Well, the guy who was guarding me was told me his back was hurting. Don't ever tell me you got a problem." He said, I'll make you pay for that." 51 points later. 51 points at age 41. He came back the next game with 46. And he looked at me and said, "I told you I could still play."
Jordan responded in the following game the way a champion responds. He proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that he could still play in this league.
God damn.
Jordan was torching the Charlotte Hornets, playing like a man possessed. He scored 51 points on 55% shooting, adding 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. Jordan continued his dominance into the following game, scoring an efficient 45 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists on an extremely talented New Jersey Nets team that went on to the NBA Finals that season. With these remarkable performances, Jordan became the only player in NBA history to score 50 points in a game in 3 different decades. No other player in NBA history has even done 40 points in a game in 3 different decades.
Right.
Less than a month later, he had another back-to-back 40-point games,
Oh my
including
gosh.
a game-winning buzzer beater over the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Wizards started the season with a 26
Look at Rip Hamilton.
and on the 47th game, Jordan collided with a teammate and tore his meniscus.
Ooh.
He tried to play through the pain and on reduced minutes, but after another 14 games, he had arthroscopic knee surgery to repair the knee, and
that's
his
the
season
worst,
was
bro.
over. Before Jordan's injury occurred, Jordan was averaging 25.1 points per game, 6.2 assists, 5.3 rebounds, and 1.5 steals per game. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to see a healthy Jordan make it through the season, because the reality was, he was getting better as the season progressed and as he got back into basketball shape. In his last 20 games leading up to his injury, Jordan was averaging 27.5 points per game, 6.4 assists, 5.2 rebounds, and 1.3 steals per game on 44% shooting. In his last 10 games leading up to the injury, Jordan was averaging 29.7 points, 6.6 assists, 6.1 rebounds, 1.2 steals on 47% shooting. Also before Jordan's injury, the Wizards were on a 47-win pace and were well in the playoff hunt. Up to that point, no team in NBA
the
history
back in the day
had
Suns
ever been
was tough, bro. The back in the day Suns was tough. Sean Marion, Steve Nash, Amir Stoudemire, my man Barbosa, man, I think they had Grant Hill too, right? Man, the back in the day Suns was tough.
been a sub-20 win team and got on to have a winning record the following season. Jordan had the Wizards well on their way up until the meniscus happened. Something else to consider is that the Wizards' second option, Richard Hamilton, missed 5 weeks of their 26-21 stretch due to Hamilton's groin injury.
What's crazy, bro?
After Hamilton
I didn't
healed
even know Rip Hamilton played for the Wizards. I always thought he played for the Pistons. It's crazy.
Returned to the floor, the Wizards went on a remarkable 15-1 streak while they had both Jordan and Hamilton healthy on the floor. When you add all of this up, you begin to realize that not only did Jordan take one of the worst teams in the league and make them competitive, but had it not been for his knee injury, the Wizards would have had a legitimate shot at the first seed in the Eastern Conference. Not only was MJ getting better offensively as the season went on, but his defensive impact was getting better as well. Remember how the 2001 Wizards had the second worst defense in the league in terms of opponents' points per game?
Right.
Jordan was the Wizards' only significant addition to their 2002 season, and at the time the knee injury had occurred, he had improved the Wizards to the 6th best defense in opponents' points per game, allowing only 92.2 points. In Jordan's last 35 games leading up to the injury, the Wizards were allowing only 90 points per game, on pace to have them ranked 3rd overall defensively in the entire NBA. In the 15-1 stretch that Jordan and Hamilton were both actually healthy and on the floor together, the Wizards were allowing just 86.3 points per game, which was by far the best defense in the entire league.
Right.
The Miami Heat finished as the number 1 defense that season, allowing a higher 88.7 points per game. If Jordan and Hamilton had been able to remain healthy for the duration of the 2002 season, they may have finished with the best defense in the entire NBA.
Ooh.
Again, with Jordan being the only major addition, the Wizards went from the 2nd worst defense in the league to one of the best the NBA had to offer. That's the effect a 38-year-old Michael Jordan had on the lottery team. After Jordan's knee injury, and eventually the termination of his season, the Wizards absolutely imploded, winning only 11 of their next 35 games.
Damn.
After Jordan's injury, the Wizards allowed an average of 96.8 points per game, which would rank them in the bottom half of the league at 19th. With Jordan being the only significant addition to the Wizards roster between the 01-02 season, the Wizards roster improved 16 wins. Outside of Jordan, the 2002 Wizards' only additions were 5 bench players, who each played few minutes. Tyronn Lue played 20 minutes per game, rookie Kwame Brown played 14, rookie Brendan Haywood played 13, rookie Eton Thomas played 13,
Ooh, that's
and
like
rookie
3
Bobby
centers.
Simmons played 11. Again,
Damn.
the two Wizards' only additions
like 3
were
centers,
5
bro.
bench players, who each played few minutes. Tyronn Lue played 20
Point
minutes
guard.
per game, Rookie Kwame Brown played 14.
Center.
Rookie Brendan Haywood played 13.
Center.
Rookie Eton Thomas played 13.
Center.
And rookie Bobby Simmons
I
played
don't know
11.
who that is.
Again, the addition of Jordan was the only significant addition, and the team was transformed defensively and won almost twice as many games as the year before. Jordan was still dealing with injuries heading into the following season, and because of this, Jordan started the first 15 games of the 2002-2003 season coming off of the bench.
Don't pay another auto insurance bill before checking this out. I was just paying $163 a month. Now my
In his second season in Washington, Jordan was the only Wizard to play all 82 games, and he was 40 years old.
That's crazy.
He also became the only 40-year-old in NBA history to score over 40 points in a game,
That's
which
crazy,
he did
bro.
several times that season. He also became the oldest player in NBA history to average at least 20 points per game. Despite the best efforts of a 40-year-old legend, the Wizards still fell short of the Eastern Conference playoffs. So let's take a look at some of Jordan's numbers with the Wizards in comparison to last year's numbers from some of today's modern NBA stars. As you can see, in many of these cases, Jordan's numbers were just as good, if not better, than a lot of today's modern NBA stars. Also consider the fact that we're comparing the numbers of an injury-laden 40-year-old player to young, healthy players in the prime of their careers. When you look at it that way, you begin to realize just how impressive Jordan's Wizards seasons actually were. Now let's take a moment to compare Jordan's seasons to other legends when they played as a 38 or 39-year-old. As you can see, these numbers aren't even close to Jordan's level of production at the same age. Jordan was just on another level completely, performing at a level that the league had never seen before or since at that age. So now that we've just thoroughly examined Jordan's production and how he impacted one of the worst teams in the NBA by joining them, let's pause for a moment to consider what may have happened if he spent those comeback years on an actual contender instead of a lottery team.
Right.
If he had played for a contender, he likely would have been able to preserve his health and minutes for the playoffs. What if he had joined his old running mate Scottie Pippen on a loaded and contending Blazers team? What if he returned to Phil Jackson to play alongside Shaq and Kobe on the dynamic Lakers?
That would have been tough. Kobe, Shaq, and Jordan, bro. That's a championship, bro. That's a championship.
Are we potentially looking at an even greater 8-0 finals record for Michael Jordan? I know many people these days, especially the younger crowd, like to discredit Jordan's legacy because of the perceived lack of athletic competition Jordan had during the 1980s and 90s relative to today's basketball.
Say that. They played way harder defense.
Before you jump on that bandwagon, I want you to consider this. In the early 2000s, Jordan was, in terms of impact and statistically, one of the best players in the NBA as a 38 to 40-year-old, and he did all of that production while being way past his prime athletically, dealing with numerous injuries, all while being guarded by greats like Kobe Bryant, Vince Carter, and Tracy McGrady, night in and night out, who were all in their early 20s. Does that sound like athletic competition to you? Does that sound like a prime Jordan would have been the best regardless of the era you place him in? That is certainly what it sounds like to me.
I guess it's over. That was tough, bro. This is just another way to explain how Jordan was phenomenal, yo. Like, Jordan was amazing. 38 years old, still dropping over 25, 30 points. And y'all see the comparisons, Dirk Nowitzki, Vince Carter. Mostly old heads get in the game, bro. They don't be dropping that many buckets, man. You feel me? They don't be doing none of that. And you talking about Jordan? Man, that's crazy, bro. Jordan was amazing. Probably the best thing that we ever seen. I mean, he is one of the best players that we ever seen play basketball. I want to tap more into like Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Penny Hardaway, and stuff like that, bro. So let me know who y'all want me to react to next on the basketball world. This was another Kidd Reactions, man. I just want to let y'all know I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. I'm out, baby.